Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the What If Project vlog. My name is Glenn Siepert. This is episode number 50, the 50th episode of the vlog. And thank you for taking time to stop by. I know this can be a busy week because Christmas is on Saturday. So if you're like me and you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas to you, to your family, to your loved ones. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, you celebrate something else, happy, merry, whatever it is you celebrate, whatever it is you do, even if it's nothing. You do nothing for this season. That's fine. I hope whatever it is you're doing, you feel peace, you feel joy, and you have a deep sense, a deep knowing that you are loved and you are appreciated here at the What If Project podcast. So thank you for dropping by. I know that it can be a hectic time of year. Maybe you got cooking and baking and preparing for family to come and visit. Maybe you're like Chevy Chase and Christmas Vacation. You got the whole family coming over. So you got tons of stuff to do. You're decorating, you're putting lights on the house, you're doing all the different things, shopping, wrapping presents. Thank you for taking a few spare moments to drop by here. I'm not going to keep you long. I have two things I want to share with you, and I'm going to try not to go down rabbit trails so we can keep this relatively short and concise and trim away the fat and just give you a mouthful of the good stuff here today on the vlog. First of all, on Saturday, it's Christmas. It's Jesus's birthday. But it's also the pre-order date for my book, Rethinking Everything. And I am excited. I'm amped about this book. I'm excited. I've been writing this thing for 2 years, and I really buckled down the last 6 months to get it done. And I wanted to get it done by my 40th birthday, which is January 25th. That's the release day. Pre-orders the 25th of December, releases on my birthday a month later. And I wanted to get it done for my 40th birthday, and I did it. It is done. It is finished. It is in the books. It is in a book. And I'm excited to share it with you. I got the last digital formatted copy, kind of see what it's going to look like all laid out. I went through it. I made some changes because there were some mistakes. And I got it as trimmed down as I can get it. I got rid of as many mistakes as I could get. I did some, spell checks and grammar checks, all the different things. And listen, there's going to be mistakes in there, right? I edited it. There's going to be mistakes. I looked into a couple professional editors, and they wanted one wanted $3,000, and I was like, I know that getting your book edited is a major deal, and I have no doubt that their work is fantastic. It's just not something that was doable for me, and so I decided, I'm going to treat this like term papers in seminary and my doctoral dissertation. I'm just going to read it over and over and over again until I hate it and I get sick of it, and then I'm going to try to trim down as many of the mistakes as I can find. And we'll just hope that they're very limited when it gets out into the world. But it's raw, it's human, it's me, and I hope you like it. I'm excited to get it into your hands. So for Jesus' birthday, go pre-order a copy. Pre-order a copy for you, for your friends, for their friends, for your family. Buy a stack, leave it at a coffee shop. I don't know. Buy it. Hope you love it. I hope you like it. I hope it helps you. I hope it encourages you. I hope it pushes you forward in your faith and gives you some permission to rethink everything, as I have been doing here at the What If Project, Chief Heretic Officer, coming at you. But the second thing I want to share with you, and listen, sometimes I had somebody comment and say, you should really edit these things out. I don't edit stuff, right? This is me. This is who I am. I come on here. I literally put my phone on this tripod stand. I hit go on my computer and I just start talking, and it is what it is. Sometimes I say things I want to say. Sometimes I say things I'm like, I shouldn't have said that way or whatever. This is me with the with the ahs and the oohs and whatever. Anyway, second thing I want to share with you is book, radical book, The Other Gospels, accounts of Jesus from outside of the New Testament, edited by Bart Ehrman and Zlatko Place. I'm not sure how you say his name, but Bart Ehrman is one of the editors. And really, these are all texts, gospels, letters, stories about Jesus that didn't make it into the Bible. Some of these date as early as the early to mid-second century, which is really, we're talking just 30, 40 years after some of the books in our Bible were written. Others of them date much later, like mid-6th, 7th century. And a lot of those were rewrites of the earlier ones. So there's a lot of stuff in here. And listen, we can talk about, is it historical? It's not historical. I don't think that the Gospels are really meant to be historical either, the ones that are in our Bible. So not the argument here is not that these are real stories, but the argument is that these are inspiring stories. I had a friend of mine, she's a scholar in this stuff, and I said to her, like, should I read these things? Like, is that okay? Like for a Christian to read this stuff? Like, shouldn't I just be reading the Bible? And she's like, listen, you're gonna read stuff in here, you're gonna read stuff in like the Gnostic text, and you're gonna be like, this is just whacked. Like, what in the world is this even talking about? But there's gonna be other things that you're gonna read, and you're gonna hear the voice of the shepherd calling to you. And she said, Glenn, if you're a sheep of the shepherd, if you're following the Christ, you know the voice of the Christ. And she said, so you will hear the voice of the Christ calling to you from various stories in these letters, in these books. And she's right. She's 100% right. Because I'm about halfway, to about a quarter of the way through this. And it's really, some things are really eye-opening. Like some of the stuff is super new. Like literally never heard any of this stuff before. And some of it's really far out there, but it's helping me think about the gospels that I really know, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, in really different ways. Because if I look at those stories through the lens of these stories, man, some of the stuff I'm like, oh, like that's what Mark or whoever was getting at when he wrote that story, because now it makes a lot more sense in a much different way as I'm reading something in here that's very similar, but yet very different from that story. So anyway, I want to share with you really quick something from one of the letters in here. It's called the Gospel of Pseudo-Matthew. And it was written in about, scholars say, probably about the mid 7th century. And it was a remake or kind of a copy, like an edited copy of another gospel, the proto-gospel of James, which was written in the mid to late 2nd century. So this Gospel of James, written in the 2nd century, this Gospel of Matthew, written in the mid 7th century, and it was a rewrite. And some of the stuff is very similar between the two books. Some of the stuff is very different. Some stuff was added, some different stories, things like that. But the idea of these stories, right? Again, it's not to relay historical information to this is what really happened. It's to inspire readers. Because for whatever reason, Jesus inspired everybody who was around him at the time he lived. Most people, anyway, he inspired them. And so these gospels are trying to inspire later followers of Christ to keep following Christ and to keep walking in his footsteps and to keep doing the things that he did. So they're trying to inspire the spirits of people, to enliven the spirits of the readers with these stories. And some of them, like I said, are really wild, like this one. This story picks up, it's a story of Jesus' infancy, so it's birth, things like that. And it picks up just after Herod decides that he's going to kill all the babies who are 2 years old and younger. We know that from the book of, I think it's Matthew or Luke, one of those. Herod's going to kill everybody, all these kids, because he doesn't want another king, right? He heard that there's a king has been born. He's like, I'm the only king. Let's just go and kill all these other children. And so an angel appears to Joseph, says, you got to get out of here, head back to Egypt. So they get on the donkey and they go to Egypt. And the story picks up here. It says, when they arrived at a certain cave where they wanted to cool themselves off, Mary came off the donkey, sat down, and held Jesus on her lap. There were 3 male servants with them on the road, and 1 female servant with Mary. And behold, suddenly many dragons came out of the cave. I mean, this story's got dragons. How cool is this, right? Dragons come out of the cave. When the servants saw them, they cried out. It says, then the Lord, even though he was not yet 2 years old, roused himself, got to his feet, and stood in front of the dragons. And the dragons worshipped him. And when they finished worshiping him, they went away. And then was fulfilled what was spoken by the prophet in the Psalms, who said, praise the Lord from the earth, O dragons, and all the places of the abyss. So it's not historical, right? The argument here is not that it's historical. The argument that it's inspiring, right? It's inspiring. Because when I read this, like my friend said, I heard the voice of the shepherd calling to me. Because I don't know about you, but I know what it's like to be in a cave and to have dragons breathing fire down my neck, right? I mean, you know what it's like to feel like you're trapped. You've got relationship problems, maybe it's stuff with family, right? How many of you are deconstructing your faith and your family is just a mess, right? We've got some of that going on in our own life. You're in a cave and it feels like there's this dragon breathing fire down your neck, right? How dare you turn back your back on God? How dare you turn from your traditions? You're going down, you're backsliding, all this different, this dragon breathing fire on you. Maybe it's financial problems. Maybe you lost your job in the pandemic and life is just a mess. Maybe it's health issues. Maybe it's big question marks revolving around different tests, medical tests that you had. Maybe it's stuff going on in school. Maybe you're about to graduate. You don't know what you're going to do with your life. Whatever it is, right? We know what it's like to be in a cave and it's dark, and there's these dragons that are just breathing fire down our neck. But I also know what it's like to be in that cave and to remind myself that I'm not alone, right? That's my mantra sometimes. It's just very simple. I am not alone. I teach that to my daughter. She's 4. Every night when she goes to bed, I tell her, I say, you are loved, you are safe, and you are never alone. I say it back to me. She said, I am loved, I am safe, I am never alone. She said, Daddy, why am I never alone? I said, because you can't see him. You can't see God, Jesus. I talked about Jesus, but you can't see the Christ, right? You can't see the Christ. You can't see Jesus, but he's there. It's all around you, inside of you. You are never, ever alone. I tell her that heaven is all around. The kingdom of heaven is all around you. The kingdom of heaven is within you, says the Gospel of Thomas. Right? You are never alone. It's all there all the time. And so I meditate on this sometimes, right? When these dragons are breathing down my neck, I am never alone. And sometimes it takes hours, sometimes it takes days, weeks, even months. But eventually, the more deeply rooted that mantra gets, that I am never alone, the quieter those dragons become. They're still breathing their fire, but the anxiety they're creating in me is less and less and less. As I meditate and I remember, I am never alone. I'm in here with the Christ. And these dragons, the anxiety that they create bows down to the divine. As I'm taken to another place, as a reminder that I'm not alone. I'm not doing this by myself. Things might not turn out the way I want them. The whole thing might go to crap. It might just blow up in my face and nothing might ever be the same. Doesn't mean it's going to get better. Might get worse. But I'm not alone. The fire they're breathing might burn. The fire they're breathing might leave scars. It might hurt really bad. But I'm not alone. And the anxiety that they create, the pain, the fear that they generate will subside over time as I remember and remind myself of my faith, my truth. Might not be your truth. It's my truth, my faith, that I am never, ever alone. And so I don't know if that encourages you at all, but I wanted to share it with you because it encouraged me. I would highly, highly, highly advise you get this book. If you're a reader, if you are someone who associates yourself as a Christian, you call yourself a Christian, follower of Christ, whatever, this book will open up a lot of doors for you. All of the first, let's say, quarter of the book is all the infancy stories. So like the Christmas stories. So you could probably order this book today, maybe get it before Christmas and read a little bit of it before Christmas Day, or even read some of it on Christmas morning or sometime on Christmas, because it will really open up your eyes to things in very new and very fresh ways. So all that to say, my friends, again, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for being you. Very Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday season, whatever it is that you do. Hope that you can feel joy and peace and know that you are loved, you are valued, and you are appreciated. As I say to Jordan, my daughter, you are loved and you are safe and you are never alone. Much love, my friends. Talk to you soon. Peace.